Welcome back, family. What's good? What's good, y'all? All right. Okay, what's good, everybody? We back now. Like the Bible says, it was written. And when they say it was written, it means it was written before it happened. Right? His words, Hebrew Israelite scriptures, 400 years of slavery. It was written before it happened. Before we knew anything about an American 400 years of slavery, it was already written in the Bible. Right? And we took this verse right here, Genesis 15, 12 through 14. It's talking about Abram, right, which later becomes Abraham. And we're gonna be talking about Abraham in this video too, because I figured out the money system in the 1800s. I figured it out, so we're gonna have to do that. Abraham, like Abraham. No, certainly. All right, let me read it from the verse 13. Then he said to Abram, knowing certainly that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs. They made sure to say that a land that is not theirs. This is our land. And will serve them. And they will afflict you for 400 years. And also the nation whom they serve, I will judge. Afterward, they shall come out with great possessed. There is something magical about this. I did a video about it. That's why I'm like, I don't want to rehash the video I already did about this. I did a story called The Magic of Slavery. You need to realize who you're dealing with. These Knights Templars, these secret societies. What do you think the secret is? The secret is magic. The Bible is a grimoire, a book of magic spells. You taking the flesh of Jesus and the blood, all right, and eating it and saying the words out the grimoire, the book, the holy book, the Holly book. Remember, this Hollywood is connected to roots. Before Hollywood, that we know it with the movies and the TV, there was the Holly tree, and this needed to be entertainment too. The Holly Bible, the Holly book, it needed to be entertaining too. So in order to get a nation of people, they needed some really charismatic preachers. All right, now this is possessed. Right now, if you're not acting like yourself, guess what? You're possessed, and that's what speaking in tongue. They up here trying to. I couldn't even click on none of these, right? Because I'm trying to find out about speaking in tongue, and all these guys are probably Christians. So scrolling through this, nobody's gonna give me what I'm looking for. So, but I just want y'all to see speaking in tongues. That is a possession. This place that you go into, the church, used to be called the Kirk. It was also called the Circe. All right, all I was missing is an L, and it'd be Circle. The pagans used to do magic with the circle, right? You make a circle and you place a star in it, or an X, or maybe a cross, right? Church. From Circe, a pagan goddess, her fame enchant men, defile and pollute them, and turn them into swine. The church Oh, here we go. This is the one I want right here. Church originated from the word kirkja, related to the word Circe, curse, or circus. And circus, like I said, it's got to be a show. It got to be a big show. Name of the witch in Greek mythology: invite humans into her home, serves them magical wine, and turns them into brainless animals. Come on, bro. This is magic. People are a part of the Scottish Rite and other secret societies. Here's the grimoire. First, I'll show you the Holly book, the Holly Bible from the Holly tree. What you think that wine is made with? These berries from the Holly tree? What you think the book is made of? Wood from the Holly tree? Come on, man. They are running rituals and rites on humans, unsuspected humans. They give you stage magic while they practice the real magic. Ancient religious rituals and sacred orders. The church, the kirk. Okay. Now, before we do that, like I said, you know, black is a curse word. I found.
And maybe I should tell you something. Those of you that say Black Lives Matter, I feel sorry for you. Do you really believe you have a black life? Do you want me to read to you the meaning of black? Who called you black? Shouldn't you have rejected that from the beginning? A contradiction, a bundle of contradiction. You refuse Negro and nigger, but that's what black is. So you took the English version. Negro means black. And you know what black is? Tell me, have you ever seen black? Do you know the meaning of black? Black means the absence of color. Absence of color. Absence of good. Absence of light. Absence of direction.
Curses, the many curses. The many curses. All right. Like I said, I figured out how these people were getting paid, but I do want to kind of stick in to this magic thing. Okay. Now this is a revival. Now these were big back in the 1800s, late 1700s. These revivals, and the 1900s too. These church revivals they would have, and they would get a charismatic preacher to come out, and really, to me, it was just to perform miracles. Now, y'all let me know. Y'all think they was paying these people on the side? Do you think this brother got paid? I'm about to show you a brother right now. I'm guessing they was paying these people on the side to pull up these hoaxes. You know, Joel Osteen, he's still running the same play today. I think our people got caught up in this. All right. And these stories got, you know, like I said, they run religion and history together on purpose, just to confuse people. Right. And to make their spiritual book a literal book. All right, let's go.
Of the magazine. And this was the title: The Truth About Faith Healers and What Happens to the People They Claim to Cure. We answered that on one telecast, and I'm answering it again tonight. I'm not a healer. Don't call me a faith healer. No one has ever heard me say that I'm a healer. I have never claimed to heal anybody. I couldn't heal you if all you had was a toe ache. And I want to tell you this: my Jesus is under this canvas tonight. My Jesus is here, and he is here to heal the sick.
There you go. And this, I'm telling you, they came over here running this play, and people really got caught up in this. And, you know, some people probably was like, this is bull. But, you know, after enough people do it, and enough people are speaking on it, enough people are saying, yo, you should go down there. Yo, you should go down there. People just, the brothers start going down there. The brothers and sisters start going down there. And they just watching these, you know, these shows. The God Show. That's theater. The God Show. Let's play the young brother coming up here.
That's it. That's all right. That's what I want.
I brought him up here.
You brought him up here.
Sat my car this morning. I've been with him all day long. I told him God was with him. Oh, the doctor give him out. The doctor give him out. The doctor said he just had a bad.
Look at this, y'all. Something is going on, man. Possessed. The rites, the rituals, the magic. You got to call a priest if you possessed. Remember? Let's go.
Better time. Oh, Jesus.
The doctor gave him up.
Doctor gave him up. Doctor said he ought to have a better time. Oh, no. Thank you, Jesus.
She brought him early this morning.
Oh, Jesus. Help me.
Put your hands up and let's praise the Lord, everybody.
This is a revival. These revivals brought on the first Great Awakening and the second Great Awakening. Two Great Awakenings was all products of these revivals. These charismatic preachers, the main thing, the main ingredient was healing. Healing was the main thing. Okay. Conjuring up spirits. Knights Templar. Let's go.
So look, John D. English, right?
Yeah.
You know who Jacques de Molay is?
Yeah. June 9th, he got assassinated. He was the high-ranking for the Templars. They brought him on a mission Friday the 13th, and he went to go see the Pope, and the Pope and the King grew up together. And they took out a large fund from them, but they summoned them to a meeting, and yeah, they was hung in the Templar.
Okay. Right. So now, John D. had a book with him of his notes. So Jacques de Molay was tortured before they killed him because they was trying to get what's called the secret Masonic word.
Like Hammer Bill, like red hand for okay.
Yeah. So they tortured him first, trying to get the secret word from him. He didn't give him the word. They took his diaries. The guy they called in John D., that's a pseudonym, a pen name.
Yeah, because Francis Bacon even wrote it in a pen name. Yeah.
In French, what does the word Jacques translate into English?
Yeah, tell me that one.
John.
Okay.
John or Jack, right? And what's Jacques de Molay? First letter of his last name is what? D-E, right? So they telling us, without telling us, that they got the conjure magic from Jacques de Molay by giving him to us in the works of John D. They really using the notes of Jacques de Molay, but they telling us that it's John D. John D is not the person. John D is Jacques de Molay. The person is the person that was able to transcribe his notes and crack his code to read his notes in order to discover the conjure that would keep Queen Elizabeth's bloodline in power for 200 years.
And they were successful. It moved.
Okay. Just trying to show you that these people do use magic, magical words. Just like that. And okay. I gotta get to the money. We're gonna get there. I was paying these people.
What he told me was interesting. He said that
slavery in the Caribbean the majority of the slavery happened in the Caribbean and Latin America, which is one of the interesting things. Because of Hollywood and because of the African American.
Because of what? Hollywood? The Holly Bible? The Holly book?
Community's massive cultural impact on the world. Most people have come to understand racialized slavery through the lens of America. But I mean, more enslaved Africans were taken to the tiny Caribbean island of Martinique than they were brought to the United States. Almost 90% of the slaves.
More people went to the tiny island than this huge country. Why? Because there was already a country here. There was already a government here. There was already an establishment here.
Slavery happened in the Caribbean and Brazil.
Which actually surprised me because I just figured America was so big and so forth. But, back in the day, there was only 13.
And look, Tariq knows this.
Colonies, there was only a small portion. So most of the Africans ended up in the Caribbean.
And Brazil, too.
And Brazil, exactly. Yeah. And what's it?
Ain't that funny that he already knows that? Okay. The money. Let's deal with the money right quick. Because I don't know how much further I could go with the magic.
In the 1800s, some companies paid workers in company money. It could only be spent at company stores. Prices were high, wages stayed low, workers were trapped in debt. Entire economies once ran on money controlled by employers, not governments. In the
Okay. Company money. It really ain't company money though, just company paper. It's scripts. They writing out subscriptions or prescriptions. All right. Now check this out. And you see, they're charging. You got to go to the company store to buy your stuff. The company store, no, you can't go nowhere else to spend that money. So they charging more, keeping people in a debt trap. You know, debt slavery is a real thing. It's still going on today.
1800s, many workers were paid with a special kind of money called scrip. Scrip was not like regular cash.
Scrip, SCRIP, write that down, scrip.
It could only be spent at company-owned stores. This meant the workers were stuck buying from the same place, often at high prices. It created a cycle of debt that was hard to escape. Many miners found themselves working just to pay off what they owed.
Many miners, the miners. Isn't that what I was talking about yesterday? The damn miners, and how they was going through slavery too, and they came to West Virginia, to the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, where a lot of poor people are still at. Is one of the poorest areas of America. They came there. And you can see how they was getting done. It's slavery. This is debt slavery, but they don't want to never call it minor slavery. Just the people working out in the fields, or the people with the dark skin. Yeah, Melville Herkowitz. Are we gonna deal with Melville? Yeah, let's do it.
Melville Hershkovich. If you're not familiar with surnames, yes, Hershkovich, Jewish surname. This man is a Jew. And this one is more complex. You see, Hershkovich is often praised in academia for being the father of modern African studies. He's praised in academia for arguing that African Americans retained African cultural traits and that all American Negroes exclusively descend from African slaves. Come on. On the surface, some of his work may have seemed empowering at that time, but think about the timing. In the early 20th century, indigenous communities across the Southeast, they were fighting to maintain recognition. Meanwhile, scholars are building a dominant narrative that Black Americans are culturally and primarily African in origin. That framework hardens public perception. If the academic establishment says Black culture is overwhelmingly African retentions, then where does that leave indigenous ancestry inside Black communities? It gets sidelined. It gets dismissed as myth. It gets labeled folklore. So while Plecker was enforcing racial binaries and state records, Hershkovich was reinforcing an intellectual model that centered African continuity as the defining origin of Black America. The combination matters. You've got government classification plus academic reinforcement equals narrative cement. Once that narrative sets, indigenous claims from Black communities are treated as confusion, denial, romanticism. Come on, we've got to connect the dots. Plecker altered the vital records. Hrdlicka reinforced biological race hierarchy. Hershkovich strengthened a singular African origin model for Black identity. 3 different arenas: government, physical, anthropological, cultural anthropology, but the same outcome: rigid racial categories with little room for indigenous continuity among people labeled Black.
Hi guys, I had
Yeah, because they wanted to get you off this land. And so that's why they opened up Liberia. Now look, I gotta ask you. Liberia declared itself independence as the first democratic republic in Africa on July 26, 1847. So this is what's that? 13, 17 years before they say slavery ended, right? And really, Lincoln just came up with money because they had the scripts. Companies had the scripts, but you see, it was a problem with the scripts because you really couldn't go nowhere else and use the money. So Lincoln really invented money, the cash that these rappers love today, that everybody just love today. Everybody love that cash. Everybody wants some cold hard cash, man. Look at the rappers. Lincoln really invented the cash. So, and you know, like I said, Lincoln didn't free the slaves; he made slaves free because it cost nothing to make this paper, the paper C, and the paper rules, the money, the one I, the single I. In God we trust. The only thing you trust is that money. Because if you take it to the store and the store like, we're not taking it, everybody will lose trust in it. Lincoln, greenbacks. Did Abraham Lincoln invent cash, paper, fiat? President Abraham Lincoln did not invent paper money or fiat currency, but he did sign the Legal Tender Act of 1862, which introduced the first nationwide legal tender fiat paper money, greenbacks in U.S. history. First, they said, hey, man, he didn't invent it. And then turn around and just basically said, yeah, he did invent it. But it's called greenbacks, though. The greenbacks is the same thing. It's money. It's the cash money that we know today. You see? So he did get rid of the scripts and brought you the cash. But he was killed for that. Somebody was. I got to dive deeper into that story. Bro. Okay. Let's keep it pushing, man. Like I said, this nation is too big. They rather go to the islands than bring all these, 12 million people to this huge country. They couldn't do it. They wouldn't let them. I wish I had the lady. She got the slave voyages, and it gives you the records of how many people actually came over here to North America, and it's even less than what I thought, which is crazy. No, a lot of people is not diving deep into this.
Everything. So more is the root word. More with two O's. It's just horse and raw. Well, raw and horse, guys. You got to understand that everything is about the double son, because you have the son of the father and the son of mankind. Now, more. Is two in Spanish. More, to the Moors, which is love. And we established in scripture, our book says that God is love. So you got us walking around the planet talking about we are love beings, that we are gods, right? Now you got morena, which means brown. Now you have to understand, why do they call us Negroes when we were brown? Because this is a Spanish word. So Negro is a Spanish word. It is not Latin. It is Spanish. This is why they moved us from brown to black, because they don't want you to realize that, like, you're of the planet, like you're of the earth, the sand, the trees, everything, rice before it's bleached, flour, sugar, everything is brown, guys. Okay, mortal, because this is our story. The more tail, like a tall tail. Because like Morpheus, right? Shaper of the dream world, guys. This is why we say that we are the Elohim, or the son of the children of the sun, is because we shape this dream world. I keep trying to share that this dream world, that we're inside of a simulated reality, guys. If you can work through this, you're really awake if you understand that, like, we're not in our understanding that.
That's what I'm saying. We were spiritual people getting outside the body. They wanted to stop that. That's why this pyramid is so important. And this is a cold pyramid. I didn't realize how cold this pyramid is. They said the sun a raise up in the east, and a shadow will be cast, and a dragon will raise. I got to look into it a lot more, but there's something with some shadows, and the dragon goes up. The way that they built this pyramid is just like one of the what is it, 7 Wonders of the World is very dope how they did it. But yeah, your spiritual system. They came, they seen how you was. They studied with you first. They studied under you first. Then they went back and wrote that Bible so you could accept it. We wouldn't have accepted it. But it was so similar to what we was already working with that we did accept it. All right. So they got us off our spiritual system onto their spiritual system and in love with the greenbacks, the money, the cash. Let's keep it pushing. Yeah. Trying to knock some of these out, some of these videos. All right.
Right? So this is what I'm trying to say. This is the reason why they don't show you the map correctly anymore, right? Because you would piece it together that like the reason why the island speaks Spanish, guys, is because the Moors spoke a Ladino Spanish. The Europeans are up here. Okay, you gotta understand. At this time, the Romans. This is the Romans. That's all they know. They did not understand they didn't think there was anything on this side of the world, right? It's because the Moors were already traveling back and forth for 800 years, guys. You have to
You see the South? Y'all probably can't see it. The South is right there. Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, all right, Georgia, all right there.
extend your timeline. This is why Dominican, Cuba, Costa Rica, all these places speak Spanish, not because Anglo-Spain brought it, it's because the Moors were already traveling back and forth. This is why these are our cousins, and we're Pan-American, not Pan-African. And if we are African, we're only on this side, guys. We were already here. The indigenous people, the mound builders are right here. We became the pharaohs, the travelers of water. That's why we have the pyramids that's over here come right over here to Egypt. World map from
now. If you came off a boat, you might have been a slave. But if you was already here, ain't no way. No small group of people is about to put you in chains. No, your great uncles wouldn't allow that. Your great aunties wouldn't allow it. No. These people came over here, studied, and they know that the mind is the soul. And so that's what they was on. They came over here with paperwork, bro. The papal bulls. This is the doctrine of discovery. Refers to the 15th century papal bulls, right? Dating back to 1493, the European empires used to justify seizing indigenous lands and dominating non-Christian peoples. And now they just said, that's not Catholic teaching. But, yeah, you got the land now, so of course. What the hell? All right, let's keep it pushing you. The pen and the paper, like I said, a paper genocide. Walter Plecker. These people didn't physically dominate you. It's paper. It's paper. And like Alice in Wonderland said, there ain't nothing but a house of cards and this will fall. All right, let's go, Dane.
Really did a number on us, and the genocide was by the paper, by the pen paper. The war was the pen. Those that lived by the sword died by the sword.
Peace, bro.
And those that lived by the pen died by the pen. Okay, and what I mean by that is that you're still physically here, but the pen killed you.
Yeah. Took away
a long time ago, and who was the control of the pen?
Yeah.
That's the enemy.
Yeah.
That's how you point them out.
You know what? You're right. Because me and my aunt been talking a lot about the census and a lot about the different thing, because there's a lot of variations of our last name, but we still don't really even know what our true last name is supposed to be. And the way they did that too is a lot of times, even if you weren't home and stuff like that, they could go to your neighbor and ask your neighbor, hey,
that's correct.
What kind of person lived there? Like, what's their nationality? What's their name? And then boom.
Okay, we rolling, y'all. We are rolling. Kill the Indian. Have you ever heard of this? Kill the Indian, save the man. That's what they did. This is who they talk about. Who the Indian? It's you. Save the man. They saved the man. But that wild Indian became that docile man. Kill the enemy. Kill the Indian. Save the man. Ward Churchill. They turned you into a Christian. That's how they killed the enemy and saved the man. Through their magic. The magic with the K. All right.
The transatlantic slave trade never happened. They're lying to you because they want you to be afraid of them. Ask yourself, how do you have all these museums, but you don't have a boat? Slavery was yesterday. You don't have one boat to show us so that we can say, oh, all right, there's the boat. You can't show us the boat because the boats don't exist because it never happened. Here, this is a government law, and it tells us that we are indigenous to Americas because they know the true history. So let me ask you something. How can somebody bring you to something that you were already at? How can you be indigenous if somebody brought you there? If they brought us here, wouldn't that make them indigenous too? So clearly somebody's being lied to, and I think it's us. You can show us pictures that you've drawn of what's happened, but you can't show us the boats. If we are the indigenous peoples, how could somebody bring us from one continent to a... I really want y'all to think about that. How are we indigenous to Africa if we are indigenous to America? Who brought us here? Did they magically appear, bring us here, and then left, and then they brought us back? Like, it doesn't make sense. We're indigenous to America. I'm going to show you again. We're indigenous to America, right there. They know who we are. We don't know who we are.
I think we got one more, y'all.
Then black, and now African American or Black American. And here's the problem.
Here we go.
Political judgment, where our people are referred to by whatever name is chosen by the government through its laws, policies, and even its media. And over the course of this government's lifespan, the indigenous Niji were referred to by the government as Indian, Wild Indian, Urban Indian, Negro Indian, and then Negro, Colored, Afro-Indian, Ameri-Indian, Afro-American, American Indian, and then Black, and now African American or Black American. And here's the problem with that. Ever since we can recall records being recorded during the existence of this government, the Niji has always been referred to as whatever name the government chooses to refer to them as. So why are we the only race of people that continues to allow strangers? That comes political judgment.
They continue to allow strangers to name us. Who's already named though? This movie, man, I just can't. It's the Hollywood. I'm telling you, they're running this. It's the same thing. The Hollywood, the Holly Bible, and imprint images into your mind, and then let you live out those images. Peace to my brother Dante 757. Man. Where's 757 at? Florida. Peace to y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe. We up out of here. Share the video, man. Peace.